नमस्ते म्याम।
नमस्ते।
यहाँलाई सानो बेलादेखि देखिरहेको होइन अनि यहाँको यस्तो मिठो मिठो गीतहरू पनि सुनिरहेको अनि आज यसरी लाइभ भेट्न पाउँदा गफ गर्न पाउँदा चाहिँ मलाई एकदमै खुसी लागेको छ र यहाँलाई स्वागत छ।
थ्याङ्क यू नानी, थ्याङ्क यू एन्ड आइ एम भेरी प्राउड अफ यु अल्सो। तपाईँको नाम मलाई उहाँ आयोजकले भाइले भनिसकेपछि आई चेक्ड अन द युट्युब एन्ड देन सो नाइसली द फर्स्ट क्लिप द भिडियो आई स इज यु गोइङ अन ट्रिप के भन्छ त्यो झुलुङ्गे पुल बनाउने प्रोजेक्ट जुन गरिराख्नु भएको रहेछ एन्ड देन द मोमेन्ट आई स द्याट सब्जेक्ट आई ओ वन्डरफुल। किनभने मैले पनि सिन्स लङ टाइम मलाई झुलुङ्गे पुल बनाउने इच्छा थियो एन्ड देन द सेम स्टोरी यु नो द रिजन बिहाइन्ड यु वान्टिङ टु डु द्याट प्रोजेक्ट भनेपछि तपाईँले पनि एउटा टिभीमा बच्चाहरू यसरी ट्विनमा गएको देखेर त्यो त्यो दुःख लाएर गर्नु खोजेको थियो। मेरो पनि सेम रिजन थियो।
यहाँले गर्न खोज्नु भएको कुरा कुनै न कुनै वेमा मैले गर्न पाउँदा चाहिँ एकदमै राम्रो एकदमै खुसी लाग्यो मलाई चाहिँ। अनि हाम्रो पुल चाहिँ बन्दै नै छ। अब हजुर चाहिँ स्पिरिचुअलिटीमा होइन अनि त्यसपछि सँगसँगै म्युजिकमा अब म्युजिक र स्पिरिचुअलिटी पनि हामीले इन अ वे कनेक्ट गर्छौँ नि होइन। सो कतिजनालाई चाहिँ स्पिरिचुअलिटी भन्ने बित्तिकै के हो त? इज इट लाइक डुइङ मेडिटेसन अल द टाइम होइन और being kind and compassionate मात्रै हो कि or is there any deeper level to spirituality?
I see. Sometimes unfortunately people relate being spiritual towards being more religious. त्यो पनि होइन जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई। जब मान्छेले जीवन र जगतसँग अलिक फराकिलो सोचबाट त्यसलाई ग्रहण गर्ने कोसिस गर्दा या कुनै पनि विषयवस्तु या प्राणी होइन नेचर हरेक चिजसँग एउटा मान्छे संवेदनशील भएर एम्पैथेटिकली व्हेन यु ट्राई यु फिल द कनेक्सन द्याट मिन्स यु आर स्पिरिचुअल।
Yes.
नो एभ्री experiences in life if you are able to take it look at it from a different aspect different angles हैन त्यसलाई फरक ढङ्गले पर्सिभ गर्ने कोसिस गर्नु या त्यसको सकारात्मकतालाई निहालेर हेर्नु सक्नु भनेको मलाई लाग्छ that means you are being spiritual.
Yes.
If you are sensitive you are spiritual.
So I am also a very sensitive person है अनि मेरो आफ्नै केसमा पनि I am someone who cannot meditate at all. Meditate as in अहिले पनि कतिजनालाई मेडिटेसन भन्ने बित्तिकै आँखा बन्द गरेर होइन चुप लागेर बस्नु हो which is true in a sense but त्यसको इभेन्चुअल मोटिभ भनेको इनर पिस पाउनु हो नि होइन। मलाई अलिकति स्ट्रगल चाहिँ केमा हुन्छ भन्दा आई एम समवन हु फाइन्ड्स साइलेन्स इन केओस एन्ड केओस इन साइलेन्स। म चुप लागेर बसिरहेको छु भने पनि देयर आर सो मेनी थिङ्स डुडलिङ इन साइड माई माइन्ड होइन र म हजुरसँग यसरी बोलिरहेको छु भने कुनै न कुनै बेलामा मलाई त्यो हुन्छ नि आनन्दको महसुस हुने कि द्याट आइ एम डुइङ समथिङ। अहिले पनि त म काम गरिरहेको हो आँखा बन्द गरेर मेडिटेट गरेर।
You just said something so deep and so profound, you know. हेर्दा फिजिकली हामी जति काम एन्ड कम्पोज भए पनि माइन्ड काम एन्ड कम्पोज नहुन सक्छ। द्याट इज सो ट्रु एन्ड आई एम सो ह्याप्पी एक्चुली टु सी यु बिङ सो डिपली प्रोफाउन्डली इन स्पिरिचुअल अन्डरस्ट्यान्डिङ।
सो हुन्छ नि अब कति बेला चाहिँ ओभर थिङ्किङ गर्छौँ होइन स्पेसली यो इन्डस्ट्रीमा वेन वी आर सब्जेक्टेड टु जजमेन्ट है मान्छेहरूले के भन्छ होला कस्तो भन्छ होला एन्ड I'm sure not just me, everyone out there, especially social media ko age ma, there are so many judgment, objectification, होइन अनि त्यस्तो बेलामा चाहिँ how can one just think about you know the good things? How can just one look at the good side or be kind and compassionate wherein there are people, keyboard warriors भन्छ नि they are passing negative comments even if you want to do something. त्यति बेलामा चाहिँ कसरी आफूलाई हुन्छ नि kind, empathetic राखिराख्ने त?
Be true to yourself. Really, be brave enough to stick to what you really believe. That really makes sense, and that gives deep joy within, rather than trying to wait for people to validate your way of thinking is right or wrong.
Yes.
In spiritual aspect, we already यो भन्दा अगाडि मैले भने जस्तै being sensitive, being empathetic, and you believe in it without any हिचकिचाहट छैन नि, you have no doubt at all. Be true to that.
I firmly believe in that. Like, no matter how much people want you to be someone else, हैन, last मा चाहिँ आफ्नो त्यो essence हुन्छ नि, त्यो नछोड्दा नै सुरु-सुरुमा चाहिँ people will judge you, तर eventually they will like you, right? And I'm trying my level best, because since this is the reigning year as Miss Nepal and I am very new to this industry, so cope up गर्न कुनै बेला गाह्रो हुँदो रहेछ. And हजुरले भन्नुभएको जस्तै being true to myself, आफ्नो purpose याद गर्ने, हैन. यो त भयो मेरो कुरा, हैन. मलाई चाहिँ म्यामको यस्तो कुरा थाहा पाउनु मन छ जुन चाहिँ नर्मली मान्छेहरूलाई थाहा छैन. लाइक हुन्छ नि हजुरको अपब्रिङ्गिङ देखि लिएर what attracted you towards spirituality?
Oh, the pain, the suffering. Actually, it is a very natural phenomena in our life that we don't wish to suffer, and we don't enjoy pain unless you pay for it.
Yes.
I know. And you always think of a way to have a more comfortable life, happier life, you know. You fantasize about that, and in order to live that or to achieve that, you find different ways to be in it. But then of course a lot of the time our approaches are right, and a lot of the time our approaches are not right. When our approaches are correct, then it brings the right result, satisfying result. When our approaches are wrong, then it brings disappointment in life. So disappointment auna sath, if here it's again something that you don't want.
Yeah.
So you again look for something antidote to that, and again यो अर्को फेरि खोजीमा लाग्छ के. सो खोजी एकपछि अर्को एकपछि अर्को एकपछि अर्को एकपछि अर्को. अब अन्ततः साँच्ची मान्छे स्पिरिचुअली अब मान्छे अलिकति त्यसमा धेरै नै डिप जान थालेपछि चाहिँ what we really need to look for is the deep joy in every aspect of life and every experiences and every perception. I mean, like, everything has its positivity, you know. मेरो गुरुले मलाई आज्ञा भएको थियो कि there's nothing, कुनै पनि यस्तो चीज छैन यो संसारमा जसको गुण छैन रे के. यतिसम्म कि हामीले सबभन्दा नराम्रो मानिने भनेको चीज पाप हो, पापको पनि गुण छ. And that's a surprising thing, हैन. पापको त कसरी गुण हुन्छ? पापको गुण भनेपछि पापलाई धुन सकिन्छ. It can be purified. हैन, पश्चातापको चोखो पानीले पापलाई धुन सकिन्छ, शुद्ध गर्न सकिन्छ. And that's the quality of पाप नि. पीडा पनि त्यही हो. पीडाबाट मुक्ति, पीडा भएर त पीडाबाट मुक्ति हुने पाउने कोसिसमा हामी विभिन्न तरिका अपनाउँछौँ. कहिले एकदम सृजनशील भएर तरिका अपनाउँछौँ, सङ्गीतमा लाग्छौँ, कहिले नृत्यमा लाग्छौँ, कहिले कला आर्ट पेन्टिङमा लाग्छौँ, विभिन्न खालका उपायहरू अपनाउँछौँ. सो आई थिङ्क so being in that search, that aspect of life, deeper and deeper, then I think you become more and more deeply, profoundly in spirituality, you know, and being able to realize the nature of everything.
I totally agree with you, because spirituality, inner peace, awakening, healing, भन्छौँ नि जति पनि हामी यो इङ्ग्लिसमा synonymsहरू, हामीलाई चाहिँ कस्तो लाग्छ भन्दा यो चाहिँ यस्तो स्टेजमा हुन्छ जब हामी एकदम खुसी हुन्छ भन्छौँ नि, but that's wrong. Because म पनि 3 वर्ष अगाडि हैन, I had every negative emotions that a human being had, like jealousy and dissatisfaction, disappointment, comparison, everything. 2018 मा I hit rock bottom. अनि यस्तो लेभलको पेन पछि चाहिँ त्यो उठ्दो रहेछ के. त्यसपछि I started being more empathetic, हैन. अब I applied for Miss Nepal in 2016 and in 2020. So 2 वर्षको comparison आफैले गर्दा पनि that person was not me भन्ने feeling हुँदो रहेछ. And I think अहिले पनि छ, अहिले पनि I do tend to get jealous, I do tend to compare myself. तर त्यो comparison लाई चाहिँ as a third party हेर्न सक्नु spirituality रहेछ के. मैले कतै पढेको थिएँ हैन, अब especially यो material world मा, why does someone else have bigger, I mean better things or more than us भन्ने हुन्छ नि. तर भगवानले जब अरूलाई केही दिनुहुन्छ भने कहिले पनि तिम्रो भागबाट खोसेर दिनु हुँदैन रे भनेर मैले कतै पढेँ के यो सानो सानो कुराले चाहिँ हैन एउटा मान्छेलाई स्पिरिचुअल बनाउँदो रहेछ बट अगेन दिस इज लाइक अ रेस के एउटा पोइन्टमा पुगे जस्तो लाग्छ बट देन फेरि केही न केही नेगेटिभ कुराले पछाडि तानिहाल्दो रहेछ एम आई अ ब्याड पर्सन भन्ने फिल हुँदो रहेछ सो what do you want to say to those people जो चाहिँ they are in this journey हैन spirituality को awakening को journey मा तर a lot of chaos के धेरै कुरा बाहिरी कुराहरूले चाहिँ अट्याक गर्छ नि जब आफूले सोचेको जस्तो हुँदैन people don't conform to our ideas हाम्रो patience level टेस्ट हुन्छ त्यस्तो बेलामा चाहिँ
well that's where my song will definitely help and then my song is not something that I have spoke of or my realization Bhagavan Buddhako indisputable truth ho it's all about how you perceive things in your life. If you perceive correctly, all these challenges, difficulties, and very heavy emotions can actually become the source of your strength and your wisdom.
Yes.
त्यो भएन भने कहाँबाट जन्मिने त wisdom? Pain, suffering भएन भने wisdom कसरी जन्मिने? Ignorance छैन भने यी आसक्तिहरू weaknesses छैन भने strength कहाँबाट आउने?
Yes, very true.
You know, when you realize that aspect of that particular experience, then you will learn to be joyful. You will be grateful for that particular experience.
Yes.
Rather than taking it as a pain. पहिला टुर ट्रिप धेरै जाँदाखेरि म युरोपतिर जाँदा मेरो साथीहरूले नो प्रब्लम भन्ने शब्द युज गर्थे के अनि मेरो साथीहरू कोहीले मलाई जिस्काउँथे यु अलवेज से नो प्रब्लम I say problems are never a problem as long as we don't take it as a problem. No? So the pleasure or happiness is very subjective. You know, it's all in the mind. If you shed sweat for 1 hour and मेरो t-shirt सबै भिज्यो भने चाहिँ you feel sense of achievement. जबकि same effort if somebody obliges you or somebody imposes on you, then you feel like you've been tortured, you've been abused.
Yes, true that.
And that generates so much of anger in you. But when you आफ्नो सो इच्छाले जब त्यसको सार्थकता बुझेर मान्छेले कसरत गर्दाखेरिको त्यो पसिना बगाउँदाखेरिको ओहो त्यो सेन्स अफ अचिभमेन्ट इज सो वन्डरफुल इट generates deep joy and that sense of victory over your laziness or your अब के भन्ने मान्छेमा अलिकति अल्छीपनाले धेरै नै हामीलाई ठाउँ लिइराखेको छ है हाम्रो लाइफस्टाइल सो आई थिंक that's what I think we should learn to develop in our mindset. किनभने कहिलेकाहीँ हामी सधैँ आफ्नो एक्टिभिटीलाई अरूको नजरबाट जज गरेर मात्र इभ्यालुएट गर्छौँ.
Validation.
Yeah, we always depend on others' validation. And when the others are unable to validate your good action, then you feel so disappointed. But then if you depend your validation on someone else's validation, then you become a slave. Then everything will be imposed on you. And I realized that and I did not want to be a slave. होइन त्यो strong desire भनौँ या त्यो strong understandingले मलाई अलिकति brave हुनमा अलिकति मद्दत पुर्यायो के म अलिकति विद्रोही स्वभावको भएर नै हो सानोदेखि त्यस्तो छु. When somebody tries to impose things on you, then I always try to gather some gutsy behavior to say no.
That's a very good quality to have.
And I think we especially first of all being as human being and above that we belong to such same society and to be a woman, to stand on her feet, we need to become more brave. Jab brave doesn't necessarily mean to behave in an aggressive way. We can be the most beautiful, soft, gentle, brave woman.
Exactly. Like हामीले confidence को कुरा गर्दाखेरि we think that if a person is loud enough or is commanding enough, we tend to think that person is confident. But it's not that. Like you can be as soft as a flower and as hard as a thunder when it comes to principles.
Exactly.
So confidence ko pani त्यस्तै नै definition छ अहिले सम्मको. So I want to talk about one of the very powerful word, love, right?
Yeah.
About modern generation ko love, it's more like attachment, it's more like obsession, possessions.
Yeah.
So अहिले चाहिँ हुन्छ नि अहिले टिनेजरहरुको पनि हुन्छ हैन लभ भन्ने बित्तिकै either they are not understanding the depth, the gravity of that word, or they are just neglecting भन्छु म चाहिँ हैन. So मान्छेले लभ चाहिँ आफुलाई हर्ट नगरिकन हुन्छ नि त्यो लभ चाहिँ कसरी गेन गर्न सक्छ, इदर आफ्नै लागि होस् अथवा अरूको लागि होस् त्यो लभ.
Imagine when you really love someone, what makes you most happy?
That person's happiness.
True. Imagine your mother. When your mother smiles at you, you feel happy immediately, I know. Same way, अब अहिले तपाईले नि त्यो त्यसको डेफिनेसन अहिलेको मोडर्न कन्टेक्स्टमा 21st सेन्चुरीको मोडर्न कन्टेक्स्टमा वर्ल्डली कन्टेक्स्टमा लभको अर्थ नै अनर्थ भएर गएछ. But generally, from a very spiritual perspective, मलाई लाग्छ it's love for oneself that makes us do all these sometimes very ignorant things too.
Yes.
Your anger also is generated out of love for oneself. No?
Yes.
The greed also is generated from the love
of material things.
And love, आफूले मलाई यो भयो भने म खुसी हुन्छु भनेर नि, it's generating from the love. No? Jealousy is also because you love yourself more, so you want to be the best. Competition is there, the pressure you take is also out of your love. So, हाम्रो गुरुहरूले सधैँ आज्ञा हुनुहुन्छ, our innate nature is very much love and compassion. From the day we are conceived, we are nurtured with love. We are raised with affection, compassion, So our innate nature is very much loving, kindness, compassion. यी सबै हामीले अज्ञान नकारात्मक कुराहरू पनि कहिले क्रियाकलापहरू जुन सो कल्ड जुन चिजलाई हामीले नराम्रो भन्छौँ ती कुरा पनि इट्स जेनेरेटेड त्यहीबाट जन्मिन्छ अरे कि. तर when we are carried away by the idea of so called the 21st century of love, then that is not the love. This could tag mother love rahilahe, but then essentially it's something else.
Yeah.
So to tag to packaging like na aljema. I mean packaging ma na aljira. त्यसको भित्री कुरालाई डिफाइन गरेर हामीले त्यसबाट त्यही चीज भित्री चीजलाई ग्रहण गर्यो भने we will be able to analyze it correctly, I guess, because we are intelligent enough.
Very much. अनि लभ चाहिँ अब there are different type of love नि त कुनै चाहिँ आफ्नो पेरेन्ट्सलाई गर्ने लभ हुन्छ, कुनै आफ्नो साथीलाई क्लोज सर्कल हजुरले भन्नुभएको जस्तो there are different types of love हैन. अनि अर्को लभ हुन्छ जुन चाहिँ जेनरली पनि सबैको लागि आउँछ नि, एम्पथीको फर्ममा होस् हैन, रेस्पेक्टको फर्ममा होस्. अनि व्हाट ह्यापन्स इज समटाइम्स an individual is too sensitive हैन अनि too empathetic अनि अरूलाई चाहिँ त्यो पे हुन्छ नि, अब अरूलाई केयर गर्ने, अरूलाई लभ नै भनौँ न, डिफ्रेन्ट फर्म अफ लभ, त्यो गर्दा गर्दै पनि द्याट पर्सन डजन्ट गेट रिटर्न कि. अनि इभेन्चुली हर्ट त आफू हुने हो, तर उसको नेचरै यस्तो हुन्छ कि म यो मान्छेलाई वास्ता गर्दिनँ भन्दा पनि उसको इनेट नेचर नै अफेक्सन हुन्छ कि, उसको सेन्सिटिभिटी हुन्छ. त्यस्तो केसमा चाहिँ हाउ क्यान वान डिट्याच वान सेल्फ के त्यस्तो त्यो वर्ल्डको रिटर्न नपाउँदाखेरि.
Your addiction becomes your, I mean, you try to translate your addiction towards something or someone into love. But love, it is to be given.
Yeah.
When it is received, it should be received without any condition. And that is genuine love. Your parents' love for us, I mean like our parents, unconditional, Sunny. They experience deep joy in giving us their love, their affection. You know, they want us to look beautiful. They want us to look happy. They want us to live successfully. The best thing they wish for you. Similarly, even you love someone as an opposite sex, of as a partner, it is more to give. And I feel like my personal experiences as we human being ko euta functionality jun cha ni, emotional function, or to stay healthy emotionally, we need to pour out love. त्यो pour out गर्ने बेलामा सधैँ कुनै conditional way मा मात्र त्यो बानी बसाल्यो के हामीलाई, त्यो कल्चरमा हुर्कायो, जबकि nature doesn't requires you to pour that love in a very structural way or calculative way. It should be very natural, and when it flows out, you feel light, you feel good when you are able to pour out love. But when you are not able to pour out that love to someone without any condition, you feel suffocated.
So the ultimate motive is to love without condition, or respect without condition.
Love is a sense of joy that you are supposed to feel inside whenever you see someone happy, or whether you are able to assist someone, or whether you are able to speak a kind word to someone, or whether you are in true sense what we experience most of, since very early stage of our life or existence, let's say, our parent, what they teaches us, we are transmitted that quality within us from the very day we were conceived. Our mother transmitted that love, that kindness, that compassion in us. But until the day we are brought out in the world, and slowly when we are raised in such a structural way of behavior. We are like the trained boy ni. You diyo bhane matra yo liu hai bhaner you
give and take.
Yeah, to pura business minded sort of thing. We are, I think our mind is programmed in such a way. The innocence, the pure that you find, purity that you find is when you are real pure child. बच्चा भगवानको रूप हुन्छ भन्छ नि, मलाई लाग्छ त्यो भगवानको रूप किन भनियो त उसकोमा त्यो क्याल्कुलेटेड माइन्डले कन्ट्रोल गरिराखेको छैन. ऊ सच्चा छ, अच्छा छ, प्योर छ. उसको कुनै पनि क्रियाकलापमा ऊ त्यसरी हामी अहिले ठुलो भइसकेपछिको जुन एउटा हिसाब किताब लगाएर कुनै पनि चीजमा हिसाब किताब लगाइराखेको हुन्छ नि, त्यो माइन्डसेट नभएर हो कि
हुन सक्छ.
सो सायद त्यो प्युरिटी हामीले हाम्रो त्यो इनेट नेचरलाई त्यसमा बेसी बस्ने, त्यसमा बेसी हामी डुवेल हुने कोसिसमा लाग्यौं भने, that's what meditation is about.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not about fabricating a new state of your mind.
Yeah.
It is just simply trying to be in the natural state of your mind.
Yeah. So natural state bhandakeri, it is impossible for a human being to not think at all. Even if I meditate garda pani, there is something in a peace nei bhaye pani, there is something that's going on.
Yeah.
So how to shut this chatter of our mind, overthinking, if it is in a very analytic, you're trying to analyze your emotions or your state of mind or your behavior, your thought process, if you're analyzing it for the purpose, for a better purpose of it, then that is something like your intelligence is actually becoming more active. So that maybe is something good. But if you're losing control over the way you think and over the way how you are being affected by that particular emotion, and then you being under the control of that particular emotion, and that is causing some kind of a pain or discomfort or dissatisfaction, then I think, and that's where you need some spiritual guidance or spiritual exercise, that you can engage oneself into, which is
again, meditation.
Yes, I think यो कुरा मैले आफैले पनि पर्सनली एकदमै धेरै स्क्विज गर्न सक्छु यो कुरा चाहिँ हजुरबाट हैन यो लर्निङ्सहरु बिकज ओभरथिंकिङकै कुरा गर्दा एउटा त माई पर्सनालिटी इज लाइक दैट आई I give attention to details सानो सानो कुरा नोटिस गर्ने observe गर्ने हैन त्यसपछि ओभरथिंक गर्दै जाने हैन तर यो स्पेशली यो फिल्डमा त झन् सबै कुरा एकैतिरबाट आउने रहेछ के सबै कुरा एकैचोटी आउने हैन समटाइम्स तपाईको क्रिएटिभ साइड चाहिँ हुन्छ नि एक्टिभेट हुँदो रहेछ ओभरथिंक गरेर भने समटाइम्स त्यो एक्टिभेट हुँदाखेरि नचाहिने कुरा झन् धेरै सोच्नु बाध्य हुँदो रहेछ कि त्यस्तो बेलामा चाहिँ आई ट्राइड मेडिटेसन एज वेल तर देयर आर फ्यु थिङ्स जुन चाहिँ चाहेर पनि आफ्नो दिमागबाट निकाल्न नसक्ने रहेछ कि
Yeah, sometime it's challenging.
It is
easy भएको भए झन् बोरिङ हुन्थ्यो होला.
Yes.
हैन? It's more fun when it is more challenging and but try to be more alert or aware that your thought process is taking place in order to correct things or to improve things or it brings some meaning to it. The meaning in the sense of self-realization. कतिपय कुरा नि हामीले के किन सधैँ केही सोचिराखेका हुन्छु त that would more towards your aspiration would be definitely towards bringing something good to you. No? You can never doubt on your aspiration. It's always to bring something good in your life. Right? Or to see something good. To happen something good. तर यदि कुनै अप्रोचले त्यसको रङ परिणाम ल्याइराखेको छ भने maybe you can try a different angle-बाट त्यसलाई perceive गर्ने कोसिस गर्ने कि maybe this is how I should perceive it from this angle or that angle. And then you analyze it and you take what is good, what makes the right sense out of it. I think that's मेरो आफ्नो जीवनको अनुभवहरू. Yes, disappointment are obvious things to happen in our life. Like दिउँसो उज्यालो छ त रातको अँध्यारो पनि त छ. You cannot get rid of the andhiyaro unless you can use different skillful means by using lights or दिनको उज्यालोमा जुन सूर्यको ताप या त्यो न्यानोपनको त्यो उज्यालोपन त्यो प्रष्टता हामीले इन्जोय गर्छौं त्यो रातमा त हुँदैन तर आफूले त्यो अब रात छ भनेर instead of my most favorite line is instead of cursing the darkness, why not light a candle yourself?
Yeah.
And you are the one who can do that for yourself rather than expecting someone else to do that for you. If you fulfill your own need, you are the responsible person to fulfill your own need. If you wait for someone else, you'll be waiting forever. Disappointment will be obvious thing. मेरो एउटा गीत छ तिम्रो ईश्वर नै तिमी तिम्रो भरै तिमी तिम्रो दुर्गति सुगतिको कर्ता सबै तिमी है कति मिठो छ
एकदमै
भन्दाखेरि it's all in the karma.
It is
the action that you make in every emotionally or verbally or physical, everything that's what you do is what you're gonna harvest.
So what do you think is more difficult, letting go or holding on to anything, be it person, things, a situation, any circumstances? What is more difficult? Is it?
I think if you always look into two, take it or leave it kind of mindset, then there's both all the time existing. You will hang on to both all the time. Why don't you see the essence of both purpose? Then you will be free from both.
Is it like weighing the pros and cons of both the things?
Yeah, I mean at the early stage of your exercise, I think it's you analyze the pros and cons, but then I think in a deeper level of spiritual practice, as according to what I learned from my guru, it's to be able to develop the capacity to go beyond both. and to be in the bliss. If you have it, you have it. You don't have it, you don't have it.
So यही कुरासँग जोड्दा चाहिँ मटेरियलिजमतिर जानु मन लाग्यो मलाई चाहिँ अब हामी चाहिँ since we human beings हैन we have the teachings of Buddha as well भगवान रामको हैन कृष्णको कति कुराहरु गीता
Exactly.
त्यो सँगसँगै we're living in a very practical world है wherein we do believe that Gautam Buddhaको teachings or भगवान रामको कुरा अथवा भागवत गीतामा लेखेको कुराले मात्र पनि लाइफ चल्दैन भन्ने कुराहरु पनि हुन्छ हैन so is it like spirituality र materialism चाहिँ are they like left and right हुन्छ नि yes or no type को opposite हो कि we can take them both equally
एउटा छ भने एउटा नहुने
होइन दुईटा सँगै जानु
एउटा छ त त्यो अर्को पनि छ
हजुर
So I think जबसम्म हामी संसारिक यो संसारमा छौं नि as we in this world as we exist so we are always something that makes us feel more comfortable when there's something opposite alternative that we can hang on to and that what really drives us most yes and no both ले गर्दा yes छ भने no पनि छ no छ भने yes पनि छ if we both are able to go above that both त्यो clinging छैन भने ती दुवैको अस्तित्व रहँदैन भने then we are and we have that capacity too त्यो potential हामीमा छ भगवान बुद्धले बुद्धत्व प्राप्ति गर्नु भनेको to be beyond that too that duality when he's able to go beyond the duality you know
yeah
त्यो दुवैको अस्तित्व रहेन नि रहेन भने where can you cling to it so you don't see the त्यसको अस्तित्व अब त्यो that is very much higher spiritual aspect of understanding तर सुरुवात एक्सरसाइज चाहिँ beginning exercise चाहिँ त्यही dual thoughts मा pros and cons को हिसाब किताब लाउँदै त्यसलाई cons लाई pros लाई लिँदै हैन अब good लाई लिँदै bad लाई पन्छाउँदै जाने भन्ने खालको त्यो सोचबाट एक्सरसाइज गरिन्छ तर अल्टिमेट लेभलमा हामी अलिकति माथिल्लो तहमा पुग्ने आफ्नो त्यो डेभलपिङ स्टेजहरु अलि एकपछि अर्को स्टेजमा पुग्दै जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ ती डुअलिस्टिक माइन्डबाट चाहिँ हामी अलि त्यो बानी बेहोरोबाट अलि कम त्यो अल्टिमेट स्टेजको कुरामा हामी सायद पुग्छ जस्तो लाग्छ मेडिटेसनको पनि एक्सरसाइजिङ स्टेजेसहरु त्यस्तै नै रहेछ है अब मेरो यो आजको उमेरमा पुग्दाखेरिको I was explaining earlier to someone saying that the best luxury we can really afford if you really can afford in 21st century is to be in nature.
Yes.
तर धेरैले afford गर्न सक्दैन किनभने we are so strongly brainwashed by the standard of luxury in a very materialistic way.
Yeah. We think that, partying, clubbing, and एकदम राम्रो restaurant, hotel मा हुन्छ नि गएर if you are able to afford एकदमै महँगो wine, whiskey or what not हैन त्यो भयो भने luxury भन्छ तर कति हुन्छ नि 3-4 दिनसम्म हिडेर कुनै ठाउँमा गएर त्यो नेचरलाई हेर्न सक्नु लाइभ that is more luxury
हेर्न हैन त्यो
feel गर्ने yes
this my god that the freshness in the air that you can breathe and then the purity of the nature around you the pure shine of a leaf on a plant or a tree that sound of the air moving which is so beautiful the whisper of this wind all this is so wonderful.
I'll tell you something so exactly a month ago I was in Rana है हाम्रो shoot को लागि we were supposed to go to somewhere else त्यो पनि nature blessed नै तर पनि हाम्रो चाहिँ त्यति बेला weather बिग्रेको भएर 15 minutes को भित्रमा we had to decide so we went to Rana हैन it was chaotic but then I always feel drawn towards plants हैन बरु animals सँग चाहिँ I keep a distance तर plants सँग चाहिँ I always feel drawn towards हैन अनि I was very happy to go तर भयो के भन्दा त्यहाँ गएँ हैन पुगेँ अनि बेलुका पुगिसकेपछि चाहिँ बत्ती पनि छैन फोनमा चार्ज पनि छैन इन्टरनेट पनि चल्दैन टावर पनि चल्दैन you know you can hardly see people around you हैन अब काठमाडौँबाटै गएको भए पनि त्यति चिन्दैन नि त अनि तीनजनाको टिमसँग गएको छ I started crying के I want to go home I had everything अगाडि यस्तो ब्युटिफुल लेक छ है बाटोमा त्यो हुन्छ नि त्यो प्लान्टहरु हेर्नु पनि इट्स लाइक वाटर कलर पेन्ट गरेको जस्तो के आफ्नो आँखाले देखिरहेछ बट देन स्टिल त्यो म भित्रको एउटा मटेरियलिस्टिक हुन्छ नि त्यो पर्सनालिटीले चाहिँ हैन आई वान्ट इन्टरनेट आई वान्ट एटलिस्ट आई वान्ट इलेक्ट्रिसिटी भन्ने त फिल हुँदो रहेछ हैन तर फर्केर आइसकेपछि आई फेल्ट लाइक आई वाज सो स्टुपिड के त्यति दुःख गरेर त्यहाँसम्म गयो हैन अब पैसा खर्च गर्यो एफर्ट लगायो त्यति हिँड्यो हैन त्यति 3-4 घण्टासम्म हिँडेर त्यस्तो राम्रो यस्तो मनोरम दृश्य देख्न पाइरहेछ and I was crying because I didn't have internet or electricity.
And it's just the opposite experience I had couple of months ago. I mean in April actually, when the first lockdown took place, a strict lockdown took place. I went into the Helambukबाट माथि डाँडामा नेचरमा गएको. There was no internet, no TV, no telephone, nothing, and that was the best thing to happen for me. खाना पकाएँ आफैले त्यो दाउरा बालेर and after quite a good numbers of decades in my life म पहिलोचोटि मेरो आफ्नो लुगा म आफैले धोएँ I felt so good त्यो पनि घरमा त्यो तातो पानीको हैन त्यो खोलाको पानीलाई त्यो पाइपले यसरी च्यानलाइज गरेर त्यो जुन कुटीमा म बसेको थिएँ त्यहाँ अब 24 आवर्स चाहिँ पानी त्यो बगिरहने के अनि त्यो पानी पनि एकदम चिसो के एकदम चिसो तर सङ्लो पानी त्यो फिल्टरै नगरिकन खान मिल्ने त्यो पानीमा मैले आफ्नो मुख धुने देखिन नुहाउने देखिन सबै कुरा and that bathroom had no door I could take shower in it and I felt the best in my life.
So it's a millennial thing.
Yeah, and I think you at such age and stage of your life, I think you in your world, a lot of these are like very much of an excitement. And at your age, probably I would be in same situation, probably. More probably नभनौँ तर थिएँ पनि भनौँ म शिवपुरी डाँडामा बस्थेँ अनि सधैँ सहर कहिले आउने भनेर रहर लाग्थ्यो के so I would come up with different excuses to my teacher and ask him for a few days leave and I would come to Kathmandu, go to cinema hall, enjoy a movie and I would go to the shops, do shopping and go to restaurants, eat plenty of different kind of foods and so on. But at this stage of my life, I want to be alone. I don't want to talk too much. I don't want to be all the time dwelling in gadgets. I want to be in the nature. I want to have the most simple life. And that's something that question comes, can I afford this? Actually, that thing has become so expensive for me.
Very expensive, very expensive. हामी अहिले अब हाम्रो जति यहाँ रेस्टुरेन्टमा एउटा रेस्टुरेन्टमा खाएको बिल उठ्छ नि नेपालको रिमोट पार्टमा जाँदाखेरि त्यसको डबल उठ्दो रहेछ के we realize that
त्यो कन्टेक्स्टमा एक्सपेन्सिभ भन्नु खोजे हैन यो एज एन्ड स्टेजमा कस्तो हुँदो रहेछ भने you have already so many responsibilities. Sometimes I feel like maybe I should just boldly become brave and then disappear. But then on the other hand, I feel like, oh, I have responsibilities that I have voluntarily taken responsibility. Nobody imposed that on me. So I need to make sure that I have organized those responsibilities properly and then I should take leave or disappear or however you put it. So that's where I am now in this stage of life. So I think it's a beautiful conversation we are having actually, you being in your age and stage of life and me being in my age and stage of my life. The value is so different, you know.
Priorities.
Yeah, priorities are different. At your age, I was also filled with curiosity towards life and its experiences. Now I'm more of like, I've had it enough, done enough, you know, what I really want now is nothing kind of thinking.
I would love to reach that phase because, you know, sometimes जति नै टेक्नोलोजीले घेरिए पनि हाम्रै जेनेरेसन पनि we reach that point के पेनले गर्दा होस् अथवा एक्सट्रीम ह्याप्पीनेसले गर्दा होस् हैन, there comes time when we feel like we want nothing, but then we are hit by the reality again that अब हजुरको एजमा I'm sure you have watched, you've seen everything, you've experienced everything, right from materialistic possessions
exactly.
to extreme peace, inner peace है. हाम्रो केसमा कस्तो छ भन्दा पढाइ सकौ, त्यसपछि then get a job for yourself, career बनाऊ, त्यसपछि you know find yourself a partner if you want to. अझ if you want to को option पनि हतपत हुँदैन हामीसँग हैन, the kind of society we live in.
Right.
So त्यसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ कतै न कतै अलिकति चेपिएको जस्तो पनि फिल हुँदो रहेछ. अनि अहिले चाहिँ अब we have our family हैन, अनि they have fulfilled their responsibilities towards us पनि. अब अहिले चाहिँ no, I don't want to think about career or हुन्छ नि पढाइ. I just want to do whatever I want to do.
You want the freedom you really aspires to have. Yeah, actually, you know, I mean, younger than your age, at that time, I really was wanting to have the freedom to be free from the difficulties or unpleasant environment that I live in. So I really pursued towards it, and I got that freedom. And then once I was, I mean, like, as you grow more like in the teenage age where you have a lot of fantasies about your life for the future, you want to have the freedom to live that fantasy. And then I also made an effort and I pursued towards it. And then so-called the name, fame, and you know, your desire to exhibit your potential and look what I'm capable of doing it. And then not only that, but you want to be an example, you want to be unique, you want to be special. That desire was so strong, and I pursued towards it, even though I was in a very strict, limited structure of life as being a Buddhist nun. But I boldly pursued towards it, and I achieved it. And now what? Now my struggle is to pursue towards being free from hypocrisy. I achieved everything, but now I feel like a lot of the time I'm living a very hypocritic life. I want to be true to the values that I believe in, and I want to be able to apply, implement all of that in my life without having to compromise in any way. So that's what my struggle is now. So it's a continuous struggle to pursue towards something one after the other, and then I hope, and I have the feeling and the confidence deep inside that this is the ultimate struggle that I should make, you know, to be free from the hypocrisy.
I think that has been a goal of everyone, including me, because we talk so much about body positivity, and accepting ourselves, but at the same time, especially me being a title holder, we're in a position wherein we will be judged, you know, body positivity ko kura garchau, but then अहिले मैले 2-3 किलो मात्र बढाए भने पनि the same people who loved me when I talked about body positivity will be judging me. So यस्तो कुराहरुले गर्दाखेरि पनि, you know, sometimes a lot of overthinking happens, a lot of inner chaos happens. So that's there. So I want to know, how do you connect music with spirituality?
Music, the kind of music that I practice, I think it helps me to bring my mind more into the natural state of mind. And that's my ultimate spiritual ground, that where I can rest. And I guess that's what the audience experiences most of the time. I mean, what I understood from the reviews or the feedbacks that I received from the listeners. And whenever I sing, I never really calculate how the listener should perceive my song. I'm very much dwelling my mind and my thought process, or however you put it, into being in it, rather than, you know, constructing a structure of how I should be feeling and how I should be singing, you know. So that's my spiritual practice. My meditational practice is very much.
It is a form of meditation.
Yes, very much. Meditation is being able to bring your mind more into one particular focus, and to, you know, to be in a free kind of a very comfortable traffic of your thought process.
Music ले चाहिँ कस्तो साँचोको काम गर्छ जस्तो लाग्छ के मलाई चाहिँ. It sets you free, हुन्छ नि.
Yeah.
Like we listen to so many genres of music, हैन. अनि जुनसुकै music होस्, either it's loud dance गर्ने music होस् अथवा it's Sufi, हैन, sentimental classical music होस्, कुनै न कुनै वेमा कनेक्ट गर्दो रहेछ inner peace सँग के.
It's a method. It's a method, I think. Sometimes, even though I'm not good at articulating how my music works, but I made an effort to find a way how I can explain my kind of music, and then the other kind of music makes different impact. The kind of music that you most of the time listen to is something that really makes you move your body, you know, it makes you dance, and then you dance and you dance, your mind is like flying around, jumping around, and your body is moving according to the beat, and then you dance so much to the point that you feel so tired. When you're tired, when you lie down, you feel so good and relaxed. That's why you feel so good. My kind of music is the music that brings your mind more home. The concept of being home is a place where you can be who you are. No? You can be in your panties and then feel comfortable to throw off your shoes here and there and just be on your couch upside down, but you're free from the thought of being judged. So you are in the natural, comfortable, free zone. So that's what my kind of music does to the mind. For myself when I sing them, and for people who listens to them, is like, yeah. So that's what I always try to find a way to explain to the people about my music. But I don't know if I'm able to do that correctly or not.
You have been able to, ma'am. So happiness, what's your take on happiness? Like, what do you think is the secret of ultimate happiness?
Satisfaction. You know, whether that is for a very short term or long term or however you put it. But then in the deeper level of understanding of it is that when you are grateful, when you are able to dwell your mind more frequently into being grateful.
Ma'am, do you believe in energies, aura, vibes? You know, you radiate such positive vibes, you know, but what I'm talking about is, you know, the law of attraction or universe, the divine timing process. Yeah. Do you believe in that?
Everything. It's all about energy.
So can you suggest me a few tips that I can tune into the frequency of the universe?
Well, I mean, you can start by listening to some of the teachings, like I can suggest some meditation masters who are real practitioners themselves. Or there are also some masters who are intellectually very intriguing, or it can really steer your mind to think deep. Intellectually, it can steer your mind. Yeah, so at your age, I would start listening. When you listen, you learn. And then when you have some knowledge, then try to bring it inside and see if it really makes sense. Try to dwell in it, or your intellectual mind to analyze it. And then you feel something. Then that's what Buddha says. Don't just simply believe in everything that I say because Buddha said it. Don't believe just simply because someone so-called very famous person says it. Only believe in it when you yourself experience it and you realize that it's something that you can believe in it.
But sometimes it becomes so difficult to believe in something unseen, unknown, unheard of, right? A vision that only you have and no one else has.
That's when the meditation helps. When things are quiet, even you can be aware of your own sound of your breath. Normally you can't listen to your own breath. But when your mind is calm, when things are calm and silent around you, then you are aware of how you're breathing, the sound, your sound of the air, sound of the birds, sound of the bugs. You become so aware. And that's how we should develop in ourselves. The spiritual awareness is being aware and sensitive to everything is around you, within you. Because our body is, it's all about balance. Our body is consisting, is that the right word? Consists of 5 elements. External elements, inner physical elements, if they are balanced and they are, in harmony, then only we can enjoy the well-being, the so-called well-being,
So, like there has been speculations, like we're in this material world, what if we're all asleep here, and then when we leave this material life, material world, that is when we wake up. Do you believe in that, like the afterlife,
See, certain habitual pattern becomes so strong in us, even after the afterlife, let's say, after life of this, leaving this 5-element body, we still are stuck with that habitual pattern. It's like an addiction. We are so much in it. We are not able to go beyond that habitual pattern. So we will still feel that way, that we have the body and so on, that the habitual pattern, the way we think and the way we function, we are stuck with it. That's why we need to learn or understand the spiritual. We need to receive more spiritual knowledge, so that we will be able to come to an understanding of the reality.
So, like I'm jumping from one question to another to a completely different topic, Kata. I hope you don't mind.
Oh, not at all. I mean, I also want to confess the truth. To you that I'm not someone who is highly learned or highly intellectual or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I'm simply sharing these thoughts and understandings from my own personal experiences and my own understanding capacity only.
Yeah.
So don't try to take it as if that is the one,
Yeah, that is something real. Because me as a teacher, I'm also a teacher, and sometimes when I'm teaching my students, I don't want them to believe in things that just because I am telling them or their teacher is telling them.
Right.
I want them to experience. I want them to witness it themselves. So whatever you have told me, जति पनि कुराहरु भन्नुभयो त्यसमा पनि हजुरको भोगाइ हो नि त. So मैले त्यसबाट लेसन लर्न गर्न सक्छु हैन, and I'm very happy about that. So एउटा क्वेशन चाहिँ मलाई सोध्नु मन लागेको हैन, अब यो कुरामा डिबेट पनि हुन सक्छ, तर स्पिरिचुअलिटी र रिलिजन हुन्छ नि, अब हामी चाहिँ धार्मिक स्पिरिचुअलिटी भन्ने बित्तिकै धर्म कर्म गर्ने, भगवानको लागि भोकै बस्ने हैन. सो मेरो जुन ठाउँबाट मैले हेर्छु नि, आई थिंक आई एम बोथ के मलाई देयर इज अ स्पेसिफिक गॉड हुन्छ नि that I really believe in. I connect with him, I talk to him, and I go and cry hugging his idols, and that's there. But then at the same time I don't stay hungry for him. Like म ट्युसडे मासु छोड्छु हुन्छ नि, मासु खान्न भनेर सोचेको थिएँ. In 1 month I could do it with due respect. Next month देखि I said sorry, I cannot do it, and that doesn't make me a bad person जस्तो पनि लाग्छ, because I do have a feeling for him religiously, but at the same time I'm spiritual as well, हैन. Like भगवानको लागि भोकै बस्नुपर्छ, व्रत नै लिनुपर्छ भन्ने पनि जरुरी हुँदैन नि त. So is there a line that divides the two, or is there a line that connects the two?
The wrong understanding, I feel, is a lot of the time what we end up practicing is that Bhagwan ko lagi maile ke गरिरहेको छु. That's not true. Bhagwan doesn't need you. Actually, you need Bhagwan to help you, to inspire or encourage you to do something that is good for you. Brata basdakheri, fasting is good for our health.
Yes.
This is a very scientific proof. हैन? तर परापूर्वकालमा सन्त सिद्ध पुरुषहरूले यसरी जुक्ति निकाल्यो कि ताकि we end up doing it. We end up practicing it in our life more frequently in order to enjoy a better health. भन्दाखेरि यी कुराहरूलाई भगवानको लागि गर न. Certain आमा बाउले बच्चालाई भन्छ नि तिमीले राम्रो उ गरे नत्र जोगी आउँछ लगेर जान्छ भन्छ नि. कुनै लालच देखाएर तिमीले राम्रो गर्यो भने फलानाले आएर यस्तो दिन्छ नि भनेर भने जस्तो नि त्यो लालच देखाएको हिसाबले तिमीले भगवानको लागि राम्रो त्यो व्रत बस्यो भने भगवानले तिमीलाई आशीर्वाद दिन्छ, तिम्रो इच्छा पूर्ति हुन्छ. अब यो फलाना दिनमा बस्यो भने तिमीलाई राम्रो वर पाउँछ. यो लालच देखाएको जस्तो लाग्यो. त्यो सन्त सिद्ध पुरुषले एउटा जुक्ति, they just became skillful. They applied a very special technique in order for you to practice a very good healthy lifestyle.
As long as health is concerned, it's very good, and that's very nice of them to do it. But hamro chai since we're living in a patriarchal society, whether we admit it or not, right? So yo kura ma chai yesto sanga modify bhayo ki it will, you know, whatever happens, like hamle birth basthan dekhi liera everything, it will conform to the idea of, you know, getting a nice husband or for the age of
very worldly aspect of achievement.
Yes. हाम्रोमा अब I'd like to specify, you know, तीजको व्रत हुन्छ. Last year हैन, 2-3 वर्ष अगाडिसम्म म पनि बस्थेँ हैन, बिकज घरमा सबैजना बस्नुहुन्थ्यो, रमाइलो लाग्थ्यो. तर बिस्तारै जब बुझ्दै आएँ नि राम्रो वरको लागि मैले राम्रो वर खोज्ने भन्दा पनि म आफू राम्रो हुनमा बरु विश्वास गर्छु के हैन. राम्रो वर त भगवानले यसो पनि दिनुहुन्छ. इफ आई एम नाइस भने आफू भलो त जगत भलो भन्छ नि. र अर्को भनेको I could see the male figures in my family eating, and I could see the female figures of my family cooking for them while fasting. That was so unfair. Right. Not everyone has to agree with me. You have your religious sentiments, which I totally respect.
I've been raised in the other completely opposite way of thinking. हामीले व्रत बस्दाखेरि यो आश्रय बोक्नु पर्यो कि म स्वस्थ रहूँ र मैले आज खाना नखाएर यदि पीडा भनौँ न हाम्रो पनि व्रत बस्ने प्र्याक्टिस छ. त्यो केका निम्ति भने सारा प्राणीहरू जसले खाना नपाएकाहरूले भोकको त्यो जुन त्यो पीडा तिनीहरू सबै मुक्त होस्, तिनीहरूको सबैको पीडा मैले लिन सकोस्. आज म व्रत बसेर मैले खाना नखाएर ताकि यिनीहरू सबैले त्यो भोकको पीडाबाट मुक्त होस् भन्ने त्यो सोच बोक्नुपर्छ हामीले. जस्तै कि हामीले कहीँ कतै अब मन्दिरमा जाँदा पूजा पाठ गर्दा पनि हाम्रो सोच यस्तो हुनु पर्यो मेरो मात्र कल्याण होस् भनेर सोच्नुहुन्न भनेर भन्नुहुन्थ्यो मेरो गुरुले मलाई सिकाएको कुरा. मैले राम्रो गर्नु सकूँ तपाईँ भगवानमा भनेको त अब सर्वगुण सम्पन्न जगत कल्याणका सबै शक्तिहरूले पर्याप्त अब हुन्छ नि त्रिकालदर्शी त्यो ज्ञान गुण सबैले युक्त हो नि, त्यो छवि हो नि. तपाईँ जस्तै म हुन सकूँ ताकि मैले पनि तपाईँ जस्तै गरेर म लगायत सबै अन्य सबै प्राणीहरूको कल्याण गर्न सकोस्, सबैको दुःख दूर गर्न सकोस्, सबैको मन मस्तिष्कमा धर्मको बास गराउन सकोस् भन्ने, त्यो भगवानको बास गराउन सकोस् भन्ने त्यो आश्रयले हामीले त्यो क्रिया कुनै पनि धार्मिक क्रियाकलाप गर्दाखेरि त्यो सही आश्रय भनेर मलाई चाहिँ मेरो गुरुले त्यसरी हुर्काउनु भयो. So every little effort that I've been making, whether that is through music or however you put it, in every activity, मैले त्यो आश्रय चाहिँ बोकेको छु. But then again, as I said earlier, our habitual pattern that is developed from the social norms is so strong, and it is not only from this lifetime, it is from your past many lifetime, I guess. So it's almost like an addiction in our life. So it's not easy to get rid of it. That's why we need to have the practice, you know, routine of practice, disciplines, code of conducts in our religious practices are there in order to help us to transform our habitual pattern.
Yes, I think as हामीले जति पनि टपिकमा कुरा गर्यौ नि, everything was like कुनै कुरा अनभिल भएको जस्तो के एउटा सिक्रेट रिभिल हुन्छ नि त्यस्तो एक्सपिरियन्स गरेँ मैले हैन कति अब आई एम अ भेरी क्युरियस पर्सन सो मैले हजुरलाई अलि धेरै नै क्वेशन्सले बम्बार्ड गरेँ
I'm very happy actually. It gave me an immense deep joy that I experienced inside to really to see you as being such a young and beautiful but also so intelligent and so spiritually inclined, and I really feel you are a promising future of Nepali society for the young ladies भनौं न किनभने हामी एउटा यस्तो सोसाइटीमा हुर्किया छौं जहाँ कि हामी हाम्रो आजकलको सबभन्दा पपुलर सब्जेक्ट नै पितृ सत्तात्मक सोचबाट कसरी हामी उन्मुक्ति पाउने भन्नेतिर हाम्रो स्ट्रगल समाज छ तपाईं देखेपछि त अब त्यो धेरै नै प्रमिसिङ भनेर आई एम भेरी कन्फिडेन्ट सो you gave me so much of joy actually.
Yeah, I feel it. Learned so much.
I deeply rejoice.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. And
you are really the candidate to hold that particular title that you are holding now. So we are so.
So I'm going for Miss World, and I need your blessings.
Well, you are blessed already.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
So I wish you all the best, and every experience may it become a source of learning and realization in your life, rather than something to discourage you.
Yes.
See, this is eventually, I think, the lesson of life is all about giving you a chance to grow stronger, wiser, and be able to become the one to be able to extract the good out of every experience.
Yes, ma'am. I totally agree with.
So, challenge for you in Miss World will be there. But don't let your fear overcome, take control of you. You be yourself. Shine out as you do. You are actually. Your beautiful smile, your beautiful heart, your way of thinking is so beautiful. And that's what our title, Miss World or Miss Universe or Miss Nepal, that's what represents. So thank you, really. I'm so happy today.
Thanks to you, ma'am, for talking to me and for answering so many questions. And I really learned a lot, and I'm really looking forward to have such conversations again. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.